Hello and welcome to Season 7 of the Zephyr Quiz League. We started with 312 players and we are now down to our final four. But before finding out who they are, I'd like to thank all our question setters who have been with us for the past few seasons and have contributed immensely over the last 7 seasons. And they are all listed here for you to take a look at. We have a core group of young students who have read a bunch of games this season. But aside from that, we've also had many enthusiastic players who take time each week to read games. So we'd like to thank each and every one of you. There's more than 50 of you. Thank you very much. And let's take a look at who our tier champions are. We've had 19 tiers in total. And we have this going all the way from Ujjwal Deb, who won the cigar final, to Nidan Ali Bashir, the winner of the tier 19 final. And now let's meet our 4 grand finalists. First up, we have Achyuth Sanjay, qualifying for the first time to this grand final, having made many close finishes in the past. Let's see how this goes for him this time around. Next, we have Pat Gibson, who's been here a few times before and will be looking to win his second title. And similarly, we have Sean as well, who won last season and will hopefully be looking to make it a back-to-back. And completing the lineup for today is Dan Feitel, who had qualified in the past in the Season 4 final, took a break for a couple of seasons, but has qualified once again. So let's get started. We have 8 rounds of quizzing, 2 questions in each round to each of you. So total of 16 owns in all. So you know the drill. Let's get started. First of 2 questions to Achyuth. Brat, and It's Completely Different, but also Still Brat by Charlie XCX, is a remix album with several featured artists. The track Talk Talk features which Angel Baby, who together with Charlie XCX co-headlined the Sweat concert tour in 2024. He also starred as a titular character in the Spud film trilogy in his youth, and has recently been seen in The Idol and 3 Months.
Boone.
Not Boone. Passing to Pat.
Troye Sivan.
Troye Sivan is right. And your next one, Achyuth. In 2021, Book Riot produced a map of the most translated books in every country. The most translated work from Chile is a posthumously published 2004 novel about an elusive German author and the unsolved murders of women in Santa Teresa, a violent city inspired by Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. Which work is this?
Hopscotch.
Not that. Sean?
So, The Savage Detectives.
Not that either.
The
Dan?
other one.
2666.
Yeah, that is the right
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, dear. What a brilliant start.
6. And continuing with Pat, here 2 coming up. Several of the largest statues of the world depict a Buddha and his various forms. This 99-meter monument, located inside the Mian Temple in the Hunan region, is the 6th tallest statue in the world. It depicts a manifestation of which bodhisattva traditionally associated with compassion. You may name either the Chinese form or the original form.
Canon.
Could you say that again?
Canon.
I can prompt you on.
Prompt. I don't think I've got anything more.
Okay, I'm going to have to pass you. Achyuth?
Guan Yin.
Yeah, Guan Yin, I'm afraid, is this manifestation that you see here. And the original Bodhisattva is the Avalokiteshvara. Canon is a more Japanese version of this Bodhisattva. And Pat, your second one. Which instrument produces high voltage static electricity through continuous charge transfer using moving belts? It is named for its American inventor of Dutch descent, who presented the creation at Princeton in 1929, with his work later laying the foundation for instruments in particle physics.
Van der Graaf generator.
Quickly put away. And that takes us to Sean's questions. Which 1947 film noir follows the story of Jeff Bailey, who reveals in a flashback that he was a private detective who ended up having an affair with Kathy Moffat, a woman he was supposed to track down. Kathy's portrayal is often regarded to have set the tone for femme fatales of the 1950s.
Touch of Evil.
Not that. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Going to Pat.
Pass.
And passing as well. This one is called
Lady
Out of
from-
the Past and seem to have gone past all of you as well.
Oh,
We've also-
Bill McGallow's High. Okay.
Only 40 years before I was born, so yeah.
Come on, your second one. Which basketballer is seen in this flying photograph where he dunked over a taller 7'2" French opponent at the Sydney 2000 Olympics in a moment billed as the dunk of death? Nicknamed Winsanity, he played for 22 seasons in the NBA, a record that he shares with LeBron James.
Why have I gone blank? This is annoying. Carter?
Oh, nice ball.
Carter is right. Great answer. Yeah,
In there somewhere.
Vince Carter. Yeah. And Dan, your questions coming up. Season 6, episode 15 of The Simpsons sees a film festival being organized in Springfield, where this character bribes 2 of the judges to vote for his film as he aspires to be recognized as a larger-than-life figure. What is the title of this episode, which sees this character's name replace a word in the title of a 1937 romantic drama film featuring Janet Gaynor that has been remade multiple times over the years?
Oh man. I got no idea. Pass.
You will pass to Achyuth
Pass.
and goes to Pat,
Pass.
passing to Sean.
A Star is Burns.
Well done. Yeah.
Oh,
Is Burns, a pun on A Star is Born. He aspires to be a larger-than-life
Ooh.
figure. Good answer, Sean. And
Thanks.
Dan, your second home. Which ancient Arab civilization, which later emerged as its own political entity, built the Al-Khazneh monument in their capital, Rakhmu? They controlled trade routes from the Euphrates to the Red Sea from the 4th century BC until their annexation by Emperor Trajan in 106 AD.
Palmyra.
Not Palmyra. Achyuth?
Nabateans.
That is right, yeah. There's the Nabateans or the Nabateans. And that brings us to Achyuth for round 2. Which waterfall, located in the Drakensberg of Royal Natal National Park in South Africa, is, according to some measurements, taller than Angel Falls, the world's tallest uninterrupted waterfall? It is part of a namesake river, which gets its name from Zulu for sudden.
Limpopo Falls.
Not the Limpopo.
Tugela Falls.
Yeah, this is the Tugela Falls. Achyuth, you're next. Which European country has been blanked out of this World Athletics Championship long jump medal table? The medals were earned by the same athlete at the 2022 and 2023 editions. 10 seconds.
France.
Not France. Dan?
Greece?
Greece is right. Would you also know the athlete?
No, but I don't know his name. I just saw this recently.
Petoglu, yeah. But you get the point for that. Greece is right. Pat, your two coming up. Which fermented dairy product is a thick, high-protein soft cheese, but marketed internationally as a yogurt? This product has found historical mention in medieval sources, including Egil's Saga and Grettis Saga, where it was originally made from sheep's milk.
Skyr?
Is right. It is Skyr. And your second. The luxury fashion house Moschino has released many collections inspired from the world of art. The Fall 2020 collection was a homage to which painter, with several of his creations serving as basis for the outfits on the show. This famous artist's signature was modified to resemble the brand's logo. Happy to zoom in.
Zoom in, please. Better glasses. Picasso?
Yeah, it is Picasso. And Sean, your questions coming up. At 128 meters, the Spring Temple Buddha is the second tallest statue in the world. It depicts which form of the Buddha was considered to be the most fundamental, that is, the Adi Buddha. This luminous figure is always depicted in the center among the 5 self-born primordial celestial Buddhas.
Amitabha?
Not Amitabha. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Going to Pat.
Pass.
Pass as well. This is a form known as the Vairocana or the Mahabharata.
Okay. Well, I've learned something.
Sean, your second. The Charlie XCX track, Font Dutch, features which TikTok girl who rose to prominence in 2019 after she released catchy singles such as Obsessed and Diet Pepsi. She's also forayed into acting, appearing in films like He's All That and Thanksgiving. Ten seconds.
Porch?
Not Dan?
Addison Ray?
This is Addison Rae,
Right, yeah.
who was obviously the other TikTok girl.
Mm.
And Dan, your two questions coming up. Which 1950 film noir follows the story of Dick Steele, a troubled, violence-prone screenwriter who is suspected of murder until his neighbor clears him? It is one of 3 films released in the same year that make a sardonic comment on Hollywood mores and the pitfalls of celebrity.
Yeah, pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Pat,
Pass.
Sean,
Sounds familiar, but I can't remember it. Pass.
right? The other 2 are All About Eve and Sunset Boulevard, and this is In a Lonely Place. Last question for the round. This is for you, Dan. What style of tile work is a derivative of the namesake form of tin glazed pottery that peaked during the Italian Renaissance after it originated from a Spanish island? This style of decorating an opaque white glaze led to the development of many styles around the continent, in the Netherlands and England as Delftware, and in Spain as Talavera. Do you have an answer, Dan?
Mallorca.
Not that. Achyuth?
Pass.
Passing to Pat.
Majolica.
Yeah, that's what it's called. You gave us the island, Dan, but I'm afraid
No, I mean I didn't know the actual answer. I
Yeah,
just was guessing it.
Mallorca or
Gotcha.
Majorca.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fine.
Old ones.
Achyuth, round 3 for you. Which instrument helps to observe fluid flow velocity by comparing static and dynamic pressure differences and is now widely used to determine the airspeed of aircraft? It was developed by a French hydraulic engineer in the early 18th century to gauge the river Seine's flow speed.
Century meter.
Not that. Sean
Cassette tube.
is right.
Cassette tube, probably. Yes.
Tube, yeah. Points to you. And Achyuth, next.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Which university was founded in 1290 by Denis I, the eldest son of Alfonso III, with the name Estudo Geral, but moved to its current city, the sixth most populous in its country, only in 1537. In 2013, several of its historical buildings were inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, making it the 15th such site in the country.
Coimbra.
Is right. You're off the mark with your owns with that one. Nice answer. Is indeed Coimbra. Pat your owns. Season 11, episode 16 of The Simpsons follows this character after he wins a beer pouring contest and becomes upset when his image is cut off from the Duff beer calendar. Although plastic surgery transforms him to have a handsome face, his internal character remains largely the same. What is the title of this episode? A pun that incorporates the character's name into the title of a mythologically named 1913 play.
Mo and Superman.
Not that. Achyuth?
Pygmalion.
Well done. Yeah, this is Pygmalion. And Pat, you're next. Which Berber dynasty that ruled from 1050 to 1147 built the trading center of Chinguetti in Mauritania? The city's unadorned architecture reflects the strict religious beliefs of this dynasty, which consolidated power in Morocco by conquering settlements along the trans-Saharan trade route.
Almorahed.
Could you repeat your answer?
Almorahed.
Not that. Sean?
I don't really want to take a risk. Pass.
Passing to Dan.
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Passing as well.
Almoravid, maybe. I don't know.
Almoravid.
Yeah, fine.
I said
I'll just...
Almorahed. So
No, I mean,
Almoravid.
clearly that's
I had a H
fine,
instead of E. So,
Fine, that's just...
I'm afraid, yeah, it's slightly different from
Yep.
the things.
okay.
No, just listened.
Which waterfall is considered to be the largest single drop waterfall in the world and is located on the Potaro River within the namesake national park in the central Essequibo territory in Guyana. It drops from a height of 226 meters, making it roughly 4 times taller than Niagara Falls.
Oh, Christ.
Do you have an answer?
No, I can't remember. Pass.
Passing to Dan.
Pass.
Achyuth
Kayetir.
is right. Yeah, nice answer.
Oh, well then.
Wow. Great.
Okay, it wasn't even... Actually, it wasn't even what I was trying to think of. But...
On your next one. Bella Hadid wore a checkered ensemble by Moschino to mimic the subject of a 1901 painting by Picasso. It depicts a version of which comic servant character, or Zanni, from the Italian Commedia dell'arte?
Harlequin.
Is right.
This.
And Dan, your two. Which amino acid was discovered by Edmund Dreschel in 1889 by breaking down casein and named after a term used to refer to the disintegration of a cell by rupturing its membrane? This essential amino acid enhances calcium absorption and collagen formation.
Lysine.
Yep. From the Greek word lysis. And then your next. Which African country has been blanked out of this World Athletics Championship 200 meters medal table? All 4 medals were earned by the same athlete between 1991 and 97.
I will say Cameroon.
Not Cameroon. Passing to Pat.
Namibia?
Yeah, hold on.
Right, yeah.
Very
It
good.
is.
Thank you, Frederick.
Achyuth, back to you for round 4. Season 7, episode 23 of The Simpsons features this character fighting to remain in Springfield after the town implements strict immigration laws. He studies and eventually passes a citizenship test, which turns out to not be too big of a problem in the end. What is the title of this episode? A wordplay that sees this character's name replace a word in the title of a comedy from 1598-99 about romantic misunderstandings.
Much ado about nothing.
Is what it's called. Good answer. And your second one, Achyuth. This outfit from Moschino's collection is a nod to which mythical creature, a recurring motif in Picasso's works. He used it to represent animal instincts within human nature and was drawn to the fact it was a lonely, absurd figure locked away in a maze.
Minotaur.
Yeah. And Pat. The most translated work from St. Lucia is a 1990 epic poem divided into 7 books that weaves multiple narratives about the indigenous and colonized peoples of St. Lucia using characters loosely based on the Iliad. Which work is this?
Homeros.
Homeros it is. And your second. Which waterfall is located in Champasak province on the Mekong River in southern Laos near the border with Cambodia? It is the widest waterfall in the world at 10,783 meters and is the main reason that the Mekong is not fully navigable from or into China.
Kone Falls?
Yeah, that is accepted. Kone Falls or the Kone Fafeng Falls, because it is also sometimes clubbed as one single fall. Sean, your two. Which Caribbean country has been blanked out of this World Athletics Championship 100-meter table? The silver medal was earned by an athlete in the 2007 edition in Osaka.
Goodness. Bermuda? No.
No, not Bermuda. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Pat?
Pass.
Right, I can tell you that the
Barbados or something.
Eric Atkins.
Grenada. Oh,
Yeah,
Bahamas.
wow.
Oh,
One silver
Yeah.
medal, huh? That's
I knew.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's a
I knew.
hard
I got B into my head and then said the wrong one, which is annoying.
Maybe you can make it up with this one, Sean. Which amino acid discovered by Albrecht Kossel and Sven Gustav Hedden in 1896 has a name that references how it was specifically found in tissue samples? This essential amino acid is a precursor to a compound involved in inflammatory immune responses.
One called histine.
Not histine. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Passing to Pat.
Pass.
Is it just
With
histamine?
histamine?
No,
Histamine are these
Yeah.
compounds. The reference
Yeah.
here, it's called histidine.
Histidine. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
That's the name of the
Yeah.
amino acid.
Probably
Yeah.
should learn those at some point properly.
Year 2 coming up. Alfonso Mucha's The Slav Epic is a cycle of 20 large canvases depicting the history of Slavic peoples. This painting depicts which emperor, whose successful campaigns against the Byzantines, Magyars, and Serbs led the first Bulgarian Empire to reach its greatest territorial expansion ever. This great Tsar's reign, from 893 to 927 CE, saw the Bulgarian capital being moved from Pliska to Preslav.
Oh man, come on. I don't. Casimir.
Not Casimir. Sean?
I always get these people mixed up. Simeon?
It is Simeon. You did not mix them up. Right, Simeon the first.
Simeon the Great.
And Dan, you're next. Which cricketer is seen in this flying photograph when he ran out the opposition batter in Zamam ul Haq in a World Cup game in 1992? Widely considered as the greatest fielder in the sport's history, he has been a fielding coach for various IPL teams post-retirement.
Not quite as famous as Vince Carter in America, unfortunately. Tendulkar.
Not Tendulkar. Achyuth?
Jaunty Rhodes.
Yeah, this is Jaunty Rhodes. Probably the greatest fielder in cricket and from South Africa. But yeah.
Pretty famous, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, tough luck there, Dan. Yeah.
I don't dispute it.
Achyuth, your own's coming up. Which dynasty built desert castles known as qasrs in the 7th and 8th centuries? Located primarily in the province of Bilad ash-Sham, many were left incomplete and abandoned soon after their patrons fell from power, and influence shifted eastward under a new caliphate.
Umayyad?
It is the Umayyad. And your second question. Which fermented dairy product is prepared by fermenting unpasteurized milk in a calabash goat container? In Zosha culture, newlywed brides are served this product alongside a piece of meat called utsiki as a sign of being welcomed into the family.
Pass.
Passing to Dan.
Okay. I'll pass on eating it and answering it.
Pat.
Pass.
And to Sean.
Gonna learn something here. Clearly pass.
Saying this is a product known as amasi.
Okay, fair.
At your own. This painting depicts the aftermath of which battle fought on 15 July 1410 that saw the alliance of the Crown of the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, led respectively by King Vladislav II Jagiello and Grand Duke Vytautas, defeat the German Teutonic Order led by Grand Master Ulrich von Jungingen.
I think it's got two names. I'll go with First Battle of Tannenberg, also known Grunwald.
Yeah, is what we have. But yeah, if you say Tannenberg,
It is also
Yeah,
it's
the same battle,
Yeah.
known by two names for.
Pat, your next one. Which Asian country has been blanked out of this World Athletics Championship high jump medal table? They were all earned by one athlete between 2013 and 2023.
Qatar.
Yeah, it is Qatar. And this was all won by Barshim. Sean, yours. Which university was founded in 1385 after Pope Urban VI granted permission to Rupert I to start a university in the capital of the electoral Palatinate state? The university and the city in the Baden-Württemberg region it is located in together form a major scientific hub, producing over 50 Nobel Prize winners.
Heidelberg.
Is right. Which is actually called the Ruprecht Karl University.
Yeah, there we are.
And your next. What style of tile work made from ceramic and carved, colored, and glazed for durability came to become the visual identity of a namesake multicultural ethnic group in Southeast Asia? These encaustic tiles are widely used to decorate the houses of this community, comprising people with mixed Chinese and Malay or Indonesian heritage.
I can't remember what these people are called. Pass.
Passing to Dan.
Pass.
Going to Pat.
Pass.
Achyuth.
Pass.
Okay, you'll pass as well. They are called the Peranakan people, or the Peranakan. So a cuisine of the same name. Dan, you have two. Which instrument determines unknown resistance values by balancing two legs of a circuit, that is, by reducing the voltage difference to zero? Although invented by Samuel Hunter Christie, it was later improved and popularized by his fellow countrymen, who also invented the stereoscope.
Oh man, I pass.
Passing to Pat.
Wheatstone Bridge.
Yeah, this is the Wheatstone Bridge.
Nice.
And Dan, you're next. The most translated work from Argentina is a 1945 short story that starts with the death of Beatriz Viterbo, the narrator's love interest, but later goes on to explore the theme of infinity found in several of the author's other works. Which work is this?
What is the collection? Library of Babel.
Not that, Sean.
Oh, I don't want to pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Going to Pat.
Pass.
Passing as well. This is the
something rooms.
The Aleph, yeah.
Oh damn. Okay. That's not
Aleph
bad.
is an infinity. From which
Is that the
it
collection that it's part of, or is that just like a completely separate thing?
That's just a story. Well, it's
Connection.
I can't actually remember. I feel like I got that.
Achyuth, your own's coming up. This 88-meter statue is located on the shore of Lake Tai in the Jiangsu region. It depicts which Buddha was born as Dharmakara, a king who became a monk. Known for his limitless light, this revered figure of the East Asian schools established Sukhavati, or Pure Land.
Amitabha.
Yeah, this is Amitabha, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Sean had guessed it earlier.
Yeah.
And this painting depicts the siege of which fortress in the Kingdom of Hungary during Suleiman I's advance towards Vienna in 1566. The siege saw the Habsburgs being defeated by the Ottomans, although the Pyrrhic nature of this victory ensured Vienna was not threatened again until 1683.
Debrecen.
Not that. Dan,
Pass.
passing to Sean.
Like Z Getar, something. Probably not. Is it?
Say that again.
Like SZIGETAR, something like that.
Zigetvar or Ziget. You gave me both variants, so
Nice.
points to you. And Pat, your owns. Which amino acid, discovered by Karl Heinrich Ritthausen in 1866, has a name that reflects the fact that it was first isolated while studying proteins in a particular cereal? It later became important for a taste-enhancing development in the culinary world.
Glutamine?
I can prompt you on glutamine.
Glutamide?
Not glutamide. Dan?
Glutamate.
Yeah, is what it's called. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Glutamate or glutamic acid. Glutamine is a completely different amino acid, which is a derivative of this. Sorry, Pat, that's like
No.
3 questions, I think. We
Right,
came
Oh, well. That's
Sorry.
life. That's the world we live in.
Yeah. And here's your next. Which 1958 film noir is about Ramon Vargas, a Mexican narcotics officer whose honeymoon is interrupted by his sudden involvement in a time bomb murder case? It is loosely based on a 1956 novel by Whit Masterson and stars its director as police captain Hank Quinlan.
The Wages of Fear.
Not The Wages of Fear. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Sean.
No, pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Passing. I thought Sean might take a bite at this one.
Oh,
This-
for God's sake.
Yeah.
But I don't actually know what the plot of that is, to be honest.
Sean, yours coming up.
Oh, it stars its director. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. Should have just gone for
Which medieval empire that reigned from 1037 to 1194 CE built the tomb of Achyuth Sanjay in their capital Merv in the Karakum Desert? Mirroring the fate of its builders, the mausoleum was raided by various Turkic tribes before being completely destroyed by the Mongols.
yeah, what are they called?
You have an answer?
Well, it's quite some. No, I'm not going to get the word properly. Pass. I can think of the first bit of it.
Dan?
I will pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Seljuks.
It is the Seljuks.
Oh,
Nicely.
Trying to think of something more complicated.
Sure. Next. Which fermented dairy product is prepared by inoculating milk with grains of a symbiotic culture? Originating from the North Caucasus Mountains, where it was originally prepared in goatskin bags, its name is derived from a Turkish word for pleasure.
Goodness me. Iraq?
Not iron. Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Pat
Pass.
and to Achyuth.
Pass.
Passing.
It'll be the other one.
Yeah, do you
The
know
one
it?
that
Kefir.
S something.
Yeah, this is-
Zephyr.
Yeah.
It's the yogurt drink, but this is slightly
Yeah.
more different.
The other ones in the set I had not even heard of, so I was not very unconfident to take this.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can never. I always go the wrong way on that for some reason. I don't know why.
Dan, you're next. Which university was founded in 1241 to accommodate students whose studies were being discontinued by the University of Palencia, which was founded in 1218 by Alfonso VII? It is located in a city that serves as the de facto capital of the autonomous community of Castile and Leon.
Valladolid.
Is right. Nice answer. And Dan, you're next. Which waterfall is a series of 7 cataracts with a total drop in elevation of 60 meters, extending over 100 kilometers along the Lualaba River in the Democratic Republic of the Congo? Also known as Stanley Falls, it is considered to be the largest waterfall by volume of annual flow rate in the world.
Katanga Falls.
Not the Katanga. Pat?
Inga?
Not the Inga either. Sean?
No, pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Passing all the way. These are called the Boyoma Falls.
Okay.
Round 7, beginning with Achyuth. Which 1944 film noir is about Mike Hammer, a tough private investigator who, with his associate and lover Velda, typically works on Penny Ann divorce cases? The glowing suitcase MacGuffin from this film has been paid homage by multiple films, including Pulp Fiction and Repo Man.
Pass.
Dan?
Pass.
Sean?
I don't actually know what the Mind Hammer one's called. Plus,
Pat?
Pass.
This one's called Kiss Me Deadly.
yeah.
And that should be our next one. What style of tile work made from individually hand-chiseled tile pieces was one of the main characteristics of architecture in Morocco, Algeria, early Islamic sites in Tunisia, and in the historic monuments of Al-Andalus? The pieces were typically of different colors and fitted together to form various patterns on the basis of tessellations.
Azulejos.
Not azulejos. Dan?
Pass.
Going to Sean?
Is it like Zill or something?
Not Zol. Pat?
Pass.
Well, this did give rise to Azulejo, and this one's called Zellige.
Yeah, I knew I was close to Z, but didn't quite have it.
Zellige, it's called. Pat, your two. The Charlie XCX Track 360 features which fembot alongside Young Lean, who returned to popular consciousness with her 8th solo album Honey in 2018. The Body Talk mini albums earned this artist's critical acclaim over her 3-decade career that began with a self-titled 1995 studio album.
Hmm.
Few more seconds.
Halsey?
Not Halsey. Dan?
Robin.
Robin it is.
Oh, it is.
Nice steal. And your next one, Pat. Which ice hockey player is seen in this flying photograph where he scored an overtime winner to give Boston Bruins a Stanley Cup win in 1970? This Canadian legend, the only defenseman to win the Art Ross Award for most league points in a season.
Or?
Yeah, it is Orr. Bobby Orr. Points to you. Season 5, episode 19 of The Simpsons sees this character build a new image for himself as a stand-up comedian who tells the truth and refuses to sell out to corporate America. He later finds himself lured by money and endorses an SUV. What is the title of this episode? A pun that incorporates the character's name in the title of a controversial Nikos Kazantzakis novel that was adapted into a 1988 film.
The Last Temptation of Crust.
Yep, that's what it's called, or The Last Temptation of Krusty. 2 titles it goes by. Your next, Sean. This painting depicts which theologian who became a church reformer and the inspiration for a namesake Christian movement, a key predecessor to Protestantism. A seminal figure in the Bohemian Reformation, he was burned at the stake for heresy in 1415, sparking a series of civil wars.
Jan Hus.
Quickly put away. 2-1-2, and Dan, we come to you. Which fermented dairy product is a strained yogurt usually paired with olive oil and used for dipping flatbreads or as a spread in sandwiches? This meze staple is made from cow's milk, although traditionally it was made from goat milk or camel milk.
Labne.
It is labne. Last question for the round. At 71 meters, the Leshan giant Buddha at the confluence of the Min and Dadu rivers is the world's tallest pre-modern statue. It depicts which bodhisattva, who's prophesied to arrive during an era of decline, when the teachings of Gautama Buddha have been disregarded or obliterated.
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
Going to Pat.
Pass.
And to Sean.
Maitreya.
Is right. Nice answer.
Nice.
Nice.
Or Ajita, a couple of other names he goes by. Last round. Good luck, everyone. Which footballer is seen in this flying photograph during a 2014 FIFA World Cup group game between Netherlands and Spain? In a match that featured the finalists of the previous edition, this Premier League legend helped the Dutch come back from a 0-1 deficit to win the game 5-1.
Robin van Persie.
Yep. And your next and final one. Which amino acid was discovered in lupin seedlings by Ernst Schulze in 1886 and named for the silvery white appearance of its crystals? As a precursor to the synthesis of nitric oxide, it is important for the regulation of blood pressure.
Arginine.
Well done. 2 on 2 takes you to 13. It is arginine. Pat, your questions. What style of tilework is inspired from the namesake form of traditional porcelainware that is popular in Thailand? With a name that translates to 5 colors, this technique of using multicolored enamels on a white porcelain base originated under the Ming dynasty, but began to take its current form during the Ayutthaya period.
Hunkaya.
That, Dan?
Pass.
Passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
And to Sean.
Pass.
Pass as well. This is called Benjarong. At your last own, which university was founded in 1222 after a large group of students and professors left the University of Bologna in search of more academic freedom? They originally headed to Vicenza, but later decided to start the institution in a city on the banks of the Bacchiglione River in the Veneto region.
Padua.
Is a terrific answer. Takes you to 9 ons. 14 points, but still 4 more questions to go. Sean, here's your 2. The most translated work from Trinidad and Tobago is the 1979 novel that tells the story of Salim, a merchant who came to leave his coastal home and move to an unnamed country in the heart of Africa after he buys a business. Which work is this?
Oh, which one is it?
Sean, do you have an answer?
A bend in the river. That's the other one.
Right.
Oh, phew.
The other one, of course, I think House
Yeah,
from Mr.
that was just 25 seconds where I couldn't remember the plot of the moment.
And your last one. Which instrument measures fluid flow by creating a pressure drop in a constricted section of pipe? Although invented by Clemens Herschel in the 19th century, it was named after an 18th century Italian scientist who first described an eponymous fluid dynamics principle. 5 seconds.
Venturi tube.
You want to improve your answer?
I want to, but I don't think I can. Venturi pipe. I don't know.
Not quite. Dan?
Venturi gauge.
Not that. Achyuth?
Venturi meter.
Yeah, I think you
Oh,
guessed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Called the Venturi meter.
I had guessed it for a previous.
Yeah, you had guessed it. So yeah, came back to your Venturi meter or Venturi flow meter. Sorry about that, Sean. And
No,
Daniel.
it's life, isn't it?
The track B2B features which nasty girl, who also collaborated with Charlie XCX on Ty Dolla $ign's track Drop That Kitty. She has released studio albums such as Aquarius in 2014, Night Ride in 2016, and Joyride in 2018, all making the top 10 R&B and hip-hop albums chart.
Uh-oh. Just don't know what Doja Cat looks like. Doja Cat.
Not Doja Cat.
Okay.
Pat,
Pass.
passing to Achyuth.
Pass.
I'll pass you. Sean,
Wish I knew, but I don't. Pass. It's someone I've heard of. Definitely.
this is someone, who became popular even more last year. Tinashe.
Oh, man.
No,
Okay.
that's it. That's it.
Nasty Girl just went extremely viral on TikTok and Reels. And the last
Okay.
don't fade down. Moschino's collection acknowledged Picasso's love for a certain activity by designing jackets influenced by their chaquetillas worn by what type of daring performers who also sport a Montero hat. They trace their name back to Persian for dead or kill.
A bullfighter?
Yeah, I can accept that. Or Macadals. Yeah. Takes you to 9
What
points.
played that from? That was a game.
Not over. We have
Yeah.
a type to go.
Still got history, but
Okay, so 5 questions, one after another. Here we go. The first one. Which country has been blanked out of this World Athletics Championship 4 into 100-meter relay table? The silver in the 2015 games came from a squad led by the first athlete born on the continent to break the 10-second barrier. Identify the athlete as well. So there are 2 parts here. You need to give a country and identify an athlete. So when you're done, you can just indicate to me and then you can show your answers. Okay. Achyuth is done. Pat, whenever you're done.
I haven't got anything.
Okay.
Wait, yeah.
You can just show.
I don't know if you can. China and League.
Okay. Pat said he's got nothing. Well, I mean, you needed both parts. China was right, but you also had to put Su Bingtian. Okay. 1 question down, 4 to go. Which fermented dairy product is prepared from mare's milk, which due to its sugar content renders it slightly alcoholic? Reportedly, Manke Khan of the Mongol Empire constructed a drinking fountain to serve this drink, also known as Irag or Ziji. Okay, you can go ahead and show your answers at the same time. Kumis and Iran, okay? The answer is Kumis. Right, next one. Which instrument uses 2 circular wire loops to create a nearly uniform magnetic field? Although the most famous of its kind was invented by a Serbian, this one is named for a 19th century German scientist who contributed to the law of conservation of energy and invented the ophthalmoscope.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. All right, Helmholtz coil. Yeah, both of you get this one right. Question number 4. The most translated work from Peru is a 1966 novel set over a period of 40 years in 2 regions. Piura, a dusty town near the coast in the north, and Peruvian Amazonia, specifically the jungle region near the Maranon River. Which work, the second when acclaimed author, is this? All right. When Pat's done, I think we can reveal the answers.
Very bad writing. There we are.
That's okay. We'll manage to read it. House of the Spirits. Both of you have given the same answer. Let's see what the answer is. It's called the Greenhouse or La Casa Verde, presumably because it was in the Amazon region. And the last question. Here we go. Season 27, episode 7 of The Simpsons follows this character after Homer loses $5,000 in a poker game with Broadway legend Laney Fontaine. To pay off the debt, the character is sent to work as Laney's assistant in New York City, where she discovers a natural talent for dancing and performing. What is the title of this episode, which modifies the title of a 1972 concert film to highlight the spelling of this character's name as opposed to the titular performer from the original work?
Baby?
Okay, when you're done, you can show your answers. I think both of you are done. Lisa on Broadway. L for Lisa. Yeah, well, you got the concept right, but neither of you get this one. It's Lisa with an S, a reference to Lisa with a Z. But I think Pat wins the tiebreaker because he got one answer extra, which was
well
Pumice.
played, everyone.
Well done, folks. Congratulations.
We'll play everyone.
Well played.
Well
Thank
played,
you.
everyone.
Much, guys.
Very
Very
interesting
well.
stuff.
I don't think it would have got me anywhere near that. So well played, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks
And
for
thanks
putting
for
it together.
reading.
Thanks for the great season,
Thanks.
Siddhant.
Thanks for another season.